Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things, and I have two projects to walk through with you today. It's another strip technique that is a really good way to use DSP very sparingly and get a nice effect that's a little bit different. I used the Sand & Sea Designer Series paper. I made two projects. Each used 12 strips cut into triangles. Each one has different colors for the base and the mat, and they each use some different techniques as well. So I do have the Pinterest pin that I will publish, and the paper used, again, Sand & Sea Designer Series paper, that has on one side, it has some seashell elements, or in this one has lines, and on the back side are soft watercolor washes in these colors that you see here. The hardest problem with the triangles, they are 3/4 inch by 3 inch strips cut in half diagonally from one long end to the opposite long end. So once you get them cut, it's easy to get them laid out, but then you flip them and you all of a sudden lose where you're at. So I'm going to suggest a trick that I have used in the past. I have these removable labels that I use for color coding all of my products, and I also use them to help organize my projects. In this case, to keep track of, if I diagonally cut this, it's going to be two brown sides and one or the other of the shell pattern. Now in this case, when I cut this diagonally, this one might not have a shell pattern on it, but I see a clamshell here that I really like. So I would dot the side that I want to use. And in this case, with the two strips, I would dot the clam one, and then on the opposite, I would dot the sandy one that I'm going to use. So once you've dotted them all, it'll help you keep straight when you're doing the assembly work. So the card on the right, they both use the same thank you from Peaceful Moments. This is a product that is carrying over, and it actually has a partner, and I just wanted to point out that this particular Peaceful Moments is all words, and the die cuts are all the floral elements to make poppy flowers. And they also are, if you've seen my two amoeba card projects, these are the three shapes that are really fun little amoeba type things. And as I've said, this one looks like a smiling coronavirus. So it's just something fun to maybe consider. It has a partner that's the opposite. The stamps are all flowers, and the die cuts are either the cutout of the flowers and leaves or some fun shapes. And on the card on the right, I created copper metallic little border with two of them, top and bottom, and then did a vellum with the Tasteful Touches. I don't think they're called, it's a Tasteful Touches bundle, and that is carrying over. So these are all carrying over, all of these different elements. I went ahead and cut fishtail straight labels by hand. On the embossing folder that I used for both of these, which is called Seabed, that is retiring at the end of May. It's an annual catalog product, and there is a carryover from the mini catalog that's going through June with a new ocean theme embossing folder that would work perfect in the place of Seabed. And the way you've got these triangles, you could really pick any embossing folder to add some texture. There is really nothing that you can see directly. It's a really busy embossing folder, and the replacement is called Seashells 3D, and it has enough busyness that it would be covering all of the seashells, but you would still see some texture. The card here on the right uses twine it's a baker's twine that is in the mini catalog, and there is a 5 product bundle that you will be able to buy that's all baker's twine in 5 different colors. And so you will be able to get it right. This is from what's called Snail Mail trim pack. And the fine art trim is carrying over to the annual catalog, or fine art ribbon is carrying over to the annual catalog. What I really like about this trim, just so you know, it comes apart nicely. Like on the ends, I purposefully pulled some of the threads out so that it curved the way it's curving, so you can do some fun treatments with that trim. The gold metallic dots are carrying over, and the sequins are part of the Sequins for Everything bundle that you can use to make fun shaker cards. And I love that the sequins are more like a plate, a little mini plate. They don't have the hole in the middle of them. These little stars are already retired. They're from all the trimmings, resin shapes with dots and stars. I have a few of them left, so I've been using them, and I thought they would go very nicely on this with the starfish page showing. I popped up some random triangles on the one on the right, and on the left I did a treatment with speckles. This speckle is from Forever Fern, which is carrying over, and I used early espresso on the just around the framed outer edge of each of the triangles, and then I sponged early espresso and roughed up just the bottoms of all the triangles and the outside edges of the 2 edge ones. For the So Saffron yellow background, I roughed up the edges and used not early espresso. I believe I used crumb cake, no, soft suede. And the thank you has the edges roughed, and I actually took early espresso and ran the edge here, top and bottom, along to get a sharper, harsher color. Used 2 of the speckles, and then on the fishtail ends I had to sponge in so it's a little bit softer looking. I love how both of these projects came out because they're so different, and it was really fun. It was definitely I would call an avid crafter type project, all because of managing 24 little pieces of paper. It probably would have been easier in hindsight for me to just have done one card and then start the other card, but I didn't. I had all 24 pieces laid out, and if it were not for my color coding labels, I think I would have gone crazy. So I think I've identified the products that are retiring versus the products that are carrying over. For the next month, all of my projects, I will be identifying the different parts and pieces and how they're going to be changing, if any, from how you order them now to like the fact that the trim is going to be ordered in a 5-pack versus right now you get it in the mini catalog. You get 2. You actually get pink and white. So you might have questions, comments, or suggestions. You can choose to leave them on my blog, where I will have all of the supply lists as well as the inspiration pin for these 2 cards. Or you could leave them here on the video. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. Hey, I'm back. I was looking at these cards in the video. I've made these cards a couple weeks ago, did the video a few days ago, Did not review it till just now. And when I was looking at them, I thought, you know, I haven't really done this DSP justice. You can see if you look really carefully at the detail that there are some ocean features with the starfish and the other shells. But I wanted to make them both look even more reflective of an ocean theme card. So I grabbed the Stamp and Die set, Friends Are Like Seashells, and I chose some kelp, the starfish, and this shell. And I cut them. I started with the yellow one, and you'll notice that the yellow one has no white. So that made me choose these 3 chunks of the back side of the non-pattern side, just the watercolor wash side. And then I also coordinated the inks so that I could get a tone-on-tone match with the yellow card. Then I went to the next card and I went, oh, this one has white. But I really like the look of the shells being stamped and cut from the coordinating colored DSP. So that's what I have here, and I want to finish them off with you and get your input. I would like to know if you agree that these cards needed just a little bit more. Do you think even though I added a little bit more, they could have stood on their own as they were? Or was it, oh no, you really needed to add more? So let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to go ahead and play around with placing these. Let me move over here to do the yellow one first. I think I liked this arrangement. I will get some new pictures. I'm going to leave the first video and the first set of photography as it is, and I'm going to add this to the end. So I hope that I will be clear on the title that this actually has 2 parts, and you need to go through to the end to see how they came out. I think I might put this in the middle here, since I have the blue kelp to go on the end. So now there will be no mistaking these cards for being ocean themed cards. So there's the first one finished, and I just really like it a lot better this way. I may come back on this clam being ultra picky, and I've got the stamp for the speckles, and I'll add a couple of speckles on him. I did add speckles, red speckles, or calypso coral speckles on the starfish. All right, so the second one, I am thinking of actually letting the clam be over the knot. The starfish down below, and the kelp off, similar to what was on the other card. All right, so it doesn't happen very often because I'm definitely a person who likes more versus less. But these cards, when I first finished them, I thought they were done. And even when I did the video, they looked done. It wasn't until I was actually reviewing the filming footage that I was then like, these just seem to need a little bit more to me. All right, so now I am happy with the look and feel of both of the cards. I will get some final photography and get this footage posted at the tail end of the first video, and we're going to call these done. And again, thanks for watching.